Numbers 23 and 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath Yahweh wrought? First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Aki, and pushing this word with true sincerity, with charity. Present your bodies as a living sacrifice. We who are ready to live salute you. All right, so I just want to go into this lesson. It's based off the movie. Well, it's based off of a couple of things, but mainly off the movie. It's kind of like a movie review. Right, this movie, Weapons. All right. Yeah, I just recently saw this movie, Weapons. I think it might be still out in the theaters. But yeah, this particular movie, and the spoiler alert if you haven't seen it and you don't want me to spoil it for you, then I would suggest you turn this video off now, right? But in the movie, basically, you had a witch who basically used witchcraft to weaponize people, all right, to basically control them, all right, and and basically, you know, it made me think about a lot of what's going on um, today in this world, man. A lot of different psyops that are happening. All right. Now, when I read that scripture, there's no enchantment against Jacob. That's not talking about all of Israel. All right. That's talking about the Israel of God. That's talking about the elect. Because what the scripture says. Hold on. This is Psalms 34 and 7. The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. All right. So the elect of the nation of Israel, the elect of Yasharallah, have divine protection from Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Lord willing, we be of that number. We are protected from on high. All right. And that's why, matter of fact, this is Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right. So, all right, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is how we shield ourselves from the wiles of the devil. All right. So we're not moved by the things that this devil's putting out, man. All right, right now these psyops got these people all Esau, Edom mainly, the low level Edomites, all up in arms over what they're seeing happening, you know, on the news, in the media, all right, on TV, right? You know, that woman getting stabbed on the train, that guy getting shot in the neck, you know, while doing a speech. These low-level people and even low-level Israelites, they're going to be moved by these things, all right, because they don't have the eye salve, all right? As the scripture says, surely in vain is the trap set in the sight of any bird, man, all right? So we, Lord willing, we be of that number, the elect, we see the trap. We see the traps that are being laid and set, and we're not being moved by those things. All right. As the scripture says, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Okay, so this is all witchcraft, man, that we're seeing in the media. And yeah, there's sacrifices involved. Yeah, there's people that are literally losing their lives. But make no mistake about it, it doesn't make these things any less staged, and it doesn't make these things any less of a ritual. Because that's what this place is, man. All right, and I'm thinking about hold on. All right, this is Jeremiah 50:38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is a land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Right, they are mad upon their idols, and I'm thinking about that guy that got shot in the neck. He was you know, a right wing hero for them. You know, he was pretty much a right wing redneck, low level Edomite ideologue. Man, they looked at this guy as an idol. Okay, and what did the elites do? They had him pretty much get whacked right on stage, right while they're stoking the flames of a race war with this woman on the train, man. And it's funny because this guy is claiming that they put a chip in his head, man. And that's why he did what he did. Because it really doesn't make any sense, man. Not only does it make it not make any sense, he didn't rob the lady, didn't rape the lady, didn't get anything from her, just stabbed her for no fucking reason. Okay, all right. You know, in this time and this climate, I mean, it's just suspicious, man. It's beyond suspicious, actually. I mean, it's just too perfect. All right, it's just too perfect, right? The timing of it. You know, not saying that there's not bug outs like that that do shit like that, but the timing of it is just too much, especially with the whole Epstein thing coming out. These victims of that Epstein list, man. Okay, but what we see is people getting weaponized through witchcraft, man. All right, you know, and these people are gonna um they're gonna destroy each other. They're gonna devour each other, man. You know, Scripture says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So the love here, the respect for your fellow man is here is gone. All right, and really it was just a thin veneer anyway. All right, because when has America ever been great? When has it ever been safe for Jake here, man? All right, it never. All right, and what we see Esau, these low level Edomites, is just taking the mask off, just revealing what was already there. All right, their hatred for Jacob. You know, no matter how much these elites screw him over and fuck him over, and you know, as long as they can get their hands on Jake, just a base people, just a pitiful base ass low level people, man. You know, but hey, the 2/3 of our people and the rest of the wicked of our people, they're low level as well, man. All right, but hey, the elect, you know, well, will we be of that number? We've been given that eye salve to see through the fog, man, through this gross darkness, man. All right, as the scripture says, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. All right, so there's only two people that really know what's going on. All right, the rest of these people are just fucking meat puppets, man. And that's the fake elites and the real elites, man. All right, all right, for the most part. All right, there's still, you know, things that are going on that are yet to be revealed that are happening in the shadows. But for the most part, we understand that these things are being orchestrated by your elites. This is order out of chaos, man. All right. Okay. And rather have the people just turn on the government and the rulers and the people that are ruling, where they're doing what they can do to divide the people, man. All right. And that's really what it is, you know. And while they're doing it, they got the soldiers on the ground. See all the ingredients for this pot of scum, for this um, basically death soup are there, man. All the ingredients for this shit show are there, man. All right, you know, and these people are pretty much being weaponized. That's why mentioned that movie, man. You know, because like I said in that movie, people were weaponized, and they were weaponized in a way where they didn't you know, they didn't have any rational thought at all. All right, she would sick them on you, and they would just run towards you if they had to jump. If they had to jump through a window, bust through a wall, whatever, to get to you. They just their cognitive skills weren't there, and that's what's happening with these people, man. These people aren't thinking shit through, man. You know, because they're easy to control and see. That's one thing the elites understand, and that's one thing Lord willing would be able to elect. That's one thing we understand, man. There's two people in this world that understand that these people have to be controlled, man. All right, you know, it's just that um, this is Sirach 10:3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And prudence is pretty much foresight, man. All right, because this devil, he's just throwing out all this confusion, and he thinks in all this chaos, and he think he's gonna emerge like a phoenix from the fire, man. And that's just not the case, man. All right, you proving yourself to be. It says an unwise king destroyed his people. He's unwise king, and he's destroying our people. Not he's destroying the people. Period, man. His own people. All right, okay, right, and an unwise king, man. Because if he had any prudence, he would see that you can't really get, uh, you're not gonna be able to get order out of this chaos. The Lord is gonna overcook this thing, man. All right, and these people, because the scripture says, as the ruler is, so are the people. Roughly paraphrasing. So the ruler is a fool. He's a damn fool, and these people are damn fools. These people, and over the years, over these years and decades, decade after decade after decade, here in Babylon, the great Esau, Edom, and the elites have been dumbing the people down more and more, man. All right. And he's dumbed them down, which is not a hard thing to do for the low level average Edomite. Okay. you know, this motherfucker is the basis of men anyway. You know, came out of a cave with no language. It's easy to control that motherfucker, man. You know, you know. But as dumbed down as these people are, man, they're gonna be driven to a point, even the redneck, low level Edomite, to come against the government, man. All right, because while they're all involved and engulfed into this political theater, man, guess what? Famine's coming, man. All right, the collapse of the economy is coming, man. All right. See what Esau Edom is finding out is racism is very expensive, man. And these low level Edomites, they don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. You can't afford racism right now, you know. But at the end of the day, it's divide and conquer, and the elites know exactly what they're doing, and these people are gonna fall right into it, man. That's why the scripture says, "My people is led as a flock to the slaughter," man. All right, I will no more suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, man. All right. See, you all going down. Everybody outside of the elect are basically going down a conveyor belt into a big fucking meat grinder, man. All right, you know. And to quote I was watching the elder Apostle Gabar a little earlier. He basically said in his lesson, everybody outside of the elect, pretty much. Let me. He basically said that nobody's making it out of this death soup except for the elect, man. All right, America's going to be a big ass pot of a big ass soup, a pot of death soup, man, with hands and skulls and legs and shit floating around in it, man. All right, and the only ones that's gonna be delivered. In fact, this is Psalm 68:13. Though ye have line among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. And all right, those are talking about the chariots, man. All right, the chariots of the Lord, which is how the elect are going to be delivered out of here, man. For the most part, even though some of us, Lord willing, will be at that number, will have to give up the spirit, But we're gonna be delivered out of this big ass pot of scum, man. As also says in Psalms, He delivered me out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, man. It also says, He's delivered me from the strivings of the people, man. All right, because these people are about to strive, man. They're gonna be, you know, it's gonna be all kind of chaos, race wars, food riots, people rifling each other's houses for lack of bread, you know, ravishing their wives and daughters. Even men are gonna get ravished and eaten, man. This is gonna get real bad here in Babylon the Great, man. You know. But hey, as we read about Jacob's trouble, it says, "And the elect shall be saved out of it," man. So it's just interesting to see how all these things are playing out because, like I said, the elect we have a front row seats, man. Like I say from time to time, the elect have the best seats in the house. All right, you know, the Lord has caused us to spiritually dwell in heavenly places, man. All right, see, we're on the hold on, right. This is Isaiah 33 and 14. The sinners of Zion are afraid. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrite, right? And what the scripture says, what the Lord say? I shall send him against a hypocritical nation to take the spoil and to tread them down as the mire of the street. That's the wicked of our people, man. All right, 2/3 of our people, you're about to get treading down out of the mire of the street, man, because you're a bunch of fucking hypocrites, and truly, everybody outside the elect will be found to be hypocrites at the end of the day. If you're not of the elect, and the Lord hasn't ordained you to be ultimately justified, then you're just a hypocrite, pretty much. All right. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrite. Surprise, motherfucker. All right. Who among us shall dwell in with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? All right. Who's going to be brought through this fire, man? He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly. He that despiseth the gain of oppression, that shaketh his hands from holding bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. And that's talking about the elect. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munition of rocks. Right? So the Lord is going to, the scripture says, I shall set him on high because he have known my name, man. So the elect, we're going to be set on high. When a flood, because America is likened unto a valley, man. All right, the valley of the shadow of death, man. All right, scriptures even call it the kingdom of death, right? This is no more the kingdom of death upon the earth. All right, but when the valley gets flooded out, the best place to be, the most safe place to be, the place you want to be, is on high, is on the rocks, man, in the mountains. You want to be in a high place, exalted, because everything that's down there in the valley is going to get washed up. It's going to get washed away. And that's what's going to happen to the wicked of our people here in Babylon the Great, man, because they've made a covenant with death, man. All right. Scriptures talk about this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, man. All right. So you're going to be washed away by this flood, but the elect are going to be on high. And even now, spiritually, we're on high. As I quoted, the Lord has caused us to dwell in heavenly places. So we're looking down spiritually at this valley, man. It reminds me of the scene in 300, man. When they were scouting out the Xerxes' army, man. They were scouting out the camp of the Persians, man. They were looking down at them from the rocks. Spiritually, that's where we're at right now. Those that are of the elect, Lord willing, will be of that number. He shall dwell on high. His place shall be the defense. And our rock is Yahweh Shai at the end of the day. Okay? All right? Yahweh Shai, Scripture says the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. He shall dwell on high. His place shall be the defense. His place of defense shall be the munition of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His water shall be sure, right? And that's for you Babylonians, where the scripture says that you're going to be drunk off your own blood as sweet wine, man. I'm not saying that as though it's going to be a party and you're having fun. No, that is a judgment. And, that's what that scripture means, of course. But yeah, it says those that are in the mountains will die of hunger. All right. You know, those that are in the mountains will die of hunger. You know, you got all those rednecks and all those preppers and stuff, people that have been prepared for the apocalypse, man. Scripture says you're going to die in those mountains, man. And the main people you're going to have to worry about is your own people, man. You know, because Elder Makama, he says it, man. You got two kinds of preppers, man. You got those that are prepping for survival, and you got those that are prepping with guns to take what the other preppers have. All right? So yeah, man, this is this is a shit show. America's becoming more and more of a shit show every day. All right? And these people, as you can see, they're being weaponized, man. They're being weaponized through witchcraft, through mind control. All right? But the elect, they see through the fog, man, and they're going to be brought through the fire. All right? So we're not concerned about you people. We're not to be moved by the political climate, although we're going to be moving with the times, although we're moving with the climate, And as we go out in our day to day, we're more leery of the climate. How anything could pop off at any given time, man. That's pretty much where we're at with it. You know. you know. But the scripture says, if it were possible, they would be able to deceive the very elect. The elect are not going to be deceived or swayed by any of the shit that's going on right now. All right, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, the elect, Lord will not be at that number. We're gonna be able to see things for what they are, and not be moved by sensationalism. All right, because Esau Edom's good at that. He's good at sensationalizing shit. Here it is. You got a woman that got stabbed on the train, but I even seen an Edomite do a video. He's like, why is this so important? Why is this stabbing so important? He said there was thousands of people who got stabbed, who shot and killed the same day she did, probably the same time. But that's what's being put out there, you know. But at the end of the day, all you people are gonna fucking lose, man. You know. The scriptures talk about how the waves. How can I say that? Right. This is Job 38:11. This is the Lord basically checking Job, like, look, man, where was you when I created this? Where was you when I created that? Right. Start at 10. Job 38:10. And break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hither shall thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. Right now, you could tell spiritually that this is alluding to people. All right, because he's talking about the waters, how the waves beat against the rocks, how they can't pass their appointed place. All right, and what it also says in Job that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, man. All right, So he has an appointed time and appointed place, you know, where he's going to be stopped. And the Lord's getting ready to stop this devil, man. All right. And waves is water, okay? So how could a water, if this is just water, how can water be proud, right? This is eluding spiritually to people, all right? And said, hither too shall thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed, right? So here it is. You have Esau Edom. He's raging, man. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? All right. These devils are raging right now. And they want to devour Jake, man. All right. But the Lord didn't decree for you to do that, man. All right. Now, it is going to be a civil war. There is going to be race wars. There is going to be a lot of blood, a lot of death. But at the end of the day, you're all dead already, man. You're all dead already, man. And the only people making out of here are the elect, man. The elect of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the elect of Israel, the Israel of God. You know, the rest of you people, you're going to be easily swayed. You're going to be easily manipulated. All right. Okay. And you're going to die here in Babylon, man. You know. All right. And eventually the Lord's going to cook this place, man. You know. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Hope this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Kwam Yasharala, and Abba Ball.